Okay, so now we're going to look at how do we really monitor student growth, student success, just kind of see all those things and some of the reporting, housekeeping functions of Formative so that you can really build and use this as a solid resource. So the first thing that we want to do is we're talking about some of our how do we track student progress. And so we've got our formatives and our classes across the top. Tracker is where we want to be when we go to tracker. Now obviously this is new, haven't been for this year, haven't started really getting into it, but what I can do is I can track it by my formatives, I can track it by standards and tags. And so as I have multiple classes, multiple students, I can change my search functions here to, am I looking for certain classes, am I looking for a test class, do I want to sort them by name, all of that information. I can also export this information if I need to directly into a Google Sheet. I can get this however that we want to get this. So this is really where these changes come to the tracker. Now, if I really want to see just my student, what I would do is search for a class. Once I get into that class, find that student. I can click on that student, and this will give me his test formative, and I can see all of his responses and answers for that particular formative, how he did on that formative, he or she. When you tag your standards, what's really neat with tagging your standards is that I've got here, this is the standard. So I can click on this one, and this will give me questions that are tied to, oh, that was my test formative. I got to go back to my tracker here. And I want to do this by standards. When I do this, and I do this by, I tag the standard, right? And this is why it's important. So if I'm looking at the standards and I click my percentage window, this gives me all of the questions that have been a part of that standard tag. So I can see, all the questions that I've used for all of the students so I can see, okay, I've got, 50 questions that are tied to standard ISTE 2A. I got 3 questions tied to standard 1B. So I can make sure that I'm getting the right balance of standards and tags and know where I'm going. And it gives you a good overview of kind of where students are. So the tracker really gives you the ability to kind of see and get different stuff going. Library. Library is a great resource for you where you have some pre-developed questions, pre-developed responses that you can put in there. When you bring these in and copy them over, make sure that you're tagging them to the correct standards. These are from all over the country, and so the standards don't always line up with our standards. So if you find something that works, you can certainly use it and bring it in there. You just want to make sure that you've got it. You can sort the library. You can search by particular authors. If you have a favorite author that you're looking at, you can search by rating so that you're getting the highest rated questions. So as questions become more popular, people rate them higher. You can search by date. Lots of great things that you can do. Last thing is kind of how do we view and kind of organize our formatives and see where we're at. So along the side here, you're going to see all of your formatives, and what we can do up here is I can change my view. My view right now is set for all of my formatives, which means I see all of the formatives. I've got a formative here called Intro to Formative that is I haven't assigned to anybody because it doesn't have the green lightning bolt, so it's not there, but I can still see them all. If I change my view to just assigned formatives, I'm only going to see the formatives that I've assigned. Right now, this is a resource folder. We'll get to that here in a second. So it really becomes what your personal preferences are for your formatives. And then you can also change how you want to sort them. Do I want to put my newest formatives on the top? Do I want to do them alphabetical? How do I want my formatives to show up in my dashboard? What are the things that I want to do? Let's say I've got a formative and I don't like the formative anymore. I want to get rid of the formative. If I check the box, the circle next to the formative, brings up all the things that I can do with this. I can copy this formative, which is great for if you're having to do a retake. It has no responses in it. I can move it if I want to move it into a folder. So if I want to move this, I can move this into my folder for formative resources. I can delete it and I can publish it. Okay. So then if I'm going to publish this, I would fill out this information that I'm going to publish this to the library. Library is a public information. What are the things that I need to create a bundle? Who can access this formative? What are the things that it's supposed to have? A description about it, kind of giving back into the community. What if I don't want to do this? Say I've got a colleague on another team or another building that is looking to use some Go Formative. I can do the share button. And what the share button does is I can come in here and I can either add them as a collaborator, which means we can work on it together and they have the ability to edit and assign or just assign it only. I can also go to give a copy of it. What's good with giving a copy of it is I can give this clone code right here to my colleague or my teacher friend, and they can put that in or put this code in here. So if you get a clone code from one of your colleagues, you would enter your quick code up here at the top, and that quick code would bring it right to where you can get a copy of another formative that one of your colleagues or somebody else shares with you. As far as for folders, if you want to organize your formatives by folders or resources, you can simply come up here, hit the folder icon. I can make this a folder for, maybe this is all of my did-sit formatives. So I can make this a did-sit folder. And I can add my formative folder in here. And then if I wanted to move my movie quiz into my did-sit folder, I could simply come down here to the move. I'm going to click that. I'm going to move this into the dig sit, and I'm going to hit the move button. And let's see here. Move, dig sit. There it is. There it is. And there it goes. So now it's in my dig sit folder. So now if I go into my dig sit folder, I see my movies. Go Formative is in there for that. And so if I want to go back to my resource here, I can go back here. Now, here's one of the things that's super important with my folder. Same, I've got those icons here. I can share a folder, I can move a folder, I can publish a folder, rename a folder. But here's, if I delete the folder, here's what happens. When I delete this folder, it doesn't give me anything, but that folder is gone, and so is my movie quiz, my movie formative. So be very careful that you don't delete a folder that has formatives in it that you need, because as you can see, I just deleted my my did sit folder, and my movie formative is gone, and that was my favorite formative of all time. So that's really kind of wraps up Go Formative. There's lots more you can do, lots of advanced features that you can get into. I'm also going to give you a link in this after this video to the Go Formative Community Hub, which will allow you to collaborate with other colleagues from around the world, and resources sharing and lots of great information on formative.